So Kent and I, before we fired up this morning, we were loading all the decks into the editor, and I looked at this card and I was like, this card actually seems really good. This is like a mono black Orzhov Pontiff, basically, that just like randomly can't be blocked by white creatures. So just like pseudo evasion and a Pontiff effect.
Somebody had asked if they're just getting into Magic Online or Arena right now, or like if they're just getting into one or the other. What is your choice and why?
So what update Stream Decker? Yep. So your goal for whether you should get into Arena or Magic Online really depends on what you're looking to do. If your goal is to only play Standard or Draft, either will do. But then what your goal is to do with inside those formats is going to vary a little bit depending on which one you want. I think if you're someone who wants to be able to have more fluidness to change decks, you're probably better off playing Magic Online because you can turn one deck into another. Whereas with Arena, once you lock your wild cards into something, you're stuck with it.
I think another way to really look at it, obviously if you're trying to qualify for the Pro Tour,
this is the only option.
One
right
program
now.
does and one doesn't.
Yep.
I have to say, if you're looking to be budget conscious and you just want to play a bunch of Magic, kind of in the Hearthstone model where you play a little bit every day.
Arena has a free to play option.
I love it. I'm a big fan. If you pick Moto as your go-to, still fire up Arena. You get a lot of free play for no money, and it's interesting to see the difference playing Magic with the AI assisted draft. It's
also another thing in mind too is like. I stream Magic 40 hours a week. I never touch Standard. So, like, you know, if... I'm supposed to play my own threat, not Fatal Pursuit.
Yeah, you're supposed
definitely.
to. But, like, this is going to be the sweetest of the openings. For...
Yep. We actually have a really good start on our side, too. We get to go 1 into 1 into 1.
Mm-hmm.
If you're interested in playing older non-rotating formats, like Modern, like that's basically all I stream, you can't play that on Arena. Can't play that on Arena. We are both... It is the Humans Mirror Match.
Yeah.
The Humans Mirror Match.
It's gonna go Noble Hierarch, and we're gonna be violently.
Oh no! Kent, why didn't we win the die roll? Why didn't we win? That was a pretty big mistake.
Yeah, I would say why didn't we register champion of the parish, but this draw right here is the reason I love playing humans. The double champion.
Okay, we got a Dark Confidant. That's everything we want in life, right?
Yep.
All right. Someone in chat is going to pipe up in a second and be like, but Jeff, you should play your stuff post-combat. You are undervaluing pressing my F6 hotkey, and my opponent wasn't going to suddenly block my Bloodsoaked Champion because I played my spells post-combat.
Nope.
So I'm just buying clock equity here. You see how they've used 90 seconds and I've used 29 seconds?
Got 'em.
Clock equity, chat. Don't undervalue the clock equity. We're very dead.
Yep. Touching back on Arena, I have been really happy. I've built a good mono red Keld deck, mono blue outcome with just the $5 starter pack and just getting my quests in most days.
Does this deck want to Blood Moon Humans? I feel like it might.
You need to.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like
get Grim Lavamancer in too.
Kitesail Freebooter is pretty bad.
Kitesail is very bad. I mean, it's actually Kitesail might just be straight trash. So the problem with Kitesail is like we don't scale it with Thalia's Lieutenant.
Yeah, so it's just always just a 1/2.
I'd be hesitant on Brutality. I mean, like Brutality's not bad.
I'm gonna have to make it rain, Destrominator. Thank you. Kent's gonna be here today, and he's gonna hang out tomorrow for most of tomorrow as well.
Wondering if Thoughtseize is better than Brutality.
That's an interesting thought. Huh.
That's just kind of like
I feel like I don't mind drawing one Thoughtseize, but I probably never want to see two, right?
I get behind it. In the same vein, you probably don't want to sit on a bunch of brutalities.
Yep, I like that.
And brutality for the most part in this is -2 a knucklehead. You're not really you're not looking at their hand.
Correct. Yeah, you're never looking at their hand. Occasionally we might drain them, especially if we have other reach.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think this sounds good.
Text cards, sure.
Yep. Text cards, sure.
I particularly like this hand because if they're on the non-vile draw, you can terminate the mana producer or something of the like and untap into Blood Moon. And I think on the play it might be fast enough.
Yep.
Neat. That's a mountain.
And honestly, if this archetype is interested in Blood Mooning humans, that's more reason to put cards like Abrade in the sideboard, so that way we can... Do I want to drain them? I think I just want to ditch the second Blood Moon to drain them, right?
Yep.
I think it's possible we want more Abrades in this deck, because Abrading Aether Vial is real good.
So the reason we go with the drain there, by the way, humans doesn't have any, like, yes, they could maybe put the Noble in play, but, like, outside of that, they're not making a bunch of plays around knowing you have Blood Moon. They just pretty much know they're dead to it.
Yep. Oh no, they have a basic Plains, Kent.
Yep. Oh, the best part about that basic Plains is it doesn't cast Reflector Mage. Or sorry, it doesn't cast Reclamation Sage either. Not that they brought that in.
God bless.
Uh-oh. These are real cards.
Land.
Probably just...
I think I just pass, right?
Yeah, we're going to terminate the bigger one.
Yep.
Naxora, 3-2.
Alright, that land doesn't cast Mance Striders, so get that going for us. This will be a Sin Collector. They brought in Sin Collector?
I don't blame them for that. Just seeing that we're some red-black pile.
Yeah, that's fair. Just like
just a mid-range
expect
thing.
A bunch of Doomblades.
Yeah. They're probably safe to be like, yeah, you're not a humans deck with your Bloodsoaked Champion. You're probably some grindy
that's fair.
Aristocrat style.
Thanks for all the great memes. This looks like another modern deck. What's going on, Weeb Army? Thank you for the 4 months. Remember, we have a Google form linked below the stream for submitting tier 3 subdecks now, so thank you for that. People that have submitted decks that you're waiting on them, I'm going to be getting them either tonight or tomorrow. Just still playing catch up for the weekend.
Yeah, Unbound. That's definitely a reason why you play the humans deck, is you want to draw champion early, often. I think you Blood Moon here?
Definitely.
Yeah.
I think it's off basics. I guess I want to do this so I can double spell next turn.
Yeah.
I guess I have one double black spell, but that's fine.
Yeah, whatever.
Alright, don't Thalia's Lieutenant me, bro. Don't do it. Have a heart. Have a heart. This looks like a great Frontier deck. We don't... Your mana would be really bad in Frontier, right?
I don't know.
We don't have Blackcleave Cliffs in Frontier.
Please don't tap that, the right land. God
bless. Yeah, come in. Come on, come at me. Take my 4, yep. Alright. I think I'm just trading this off.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yep,
We're not.
This is Doomblade.
We will cast spells.
Cast Doomblade. You have fetches and fetchable duels in Frontier. Kinda, but like Smoldering Marshes and fetch Smoldering Marshes and good in an aggro deck.
Downside is woo!
Get up, doggy!
Actually, I don't think aristocrats flap their wings. It's more of like a ninja run.
Just like a... Yes. All right, well, that answers my are we attacking. All right, get him. Get him!
The downside of that Plains is if they're playing the Militia Bugler, we're not happy.
That's true. Yep. Yeah, Bugler can pull them back in this. Mm-hmm. Hot diggity.
Yeah, they do have to get Vile, though, because they don't have the Noble Hierarch for the Rex Sage. So.
Are we having fun yet, opponent?
But they're also probably not Rex Saging.
Are you having a good time? Next game they will definitely have Sage in their deck, for sure. Is that you or me?
That was me.
Yes. Sage is an elf, but humans does play it.
Yes, it does. Yeah. Yeah, Apprentice. I've played 2 copies in the sideboard of quite a few lists, and you board them in the mirror sometimes just because you're like wanting to cut like worse freebooters and things like that.
Nexus VLX, thank you very much for the 4-month resubscription and welcome back. Yeah, they just want creatures that allow them. I don't think it's really weird at all. They just want creatures gut shot. They just want creatures that allow them to.
That's lethal.
It is lethal. They had red mana too. They had red mana too.
Oh boy.
Not that they were winning anyway.
No, I
it's just funny.
appreciate it. I hope they did that on purpose.
Rex Sage they can get with Militia Bugler, and it's just a creature that comes in off a vial. I don't think I want to change anything.
Oh, that Plague Mare has text.
I don't think
No,
so.
it's not. No. That's for Lingering Souls. I like the Liliana here. What are your thoughts on maybe trimming a Necromancer for a Thoughtseize? Being on the draw?
This card's slow.
Yeah.
This is probably worse, right?
That card is real slow.
Okay, let's do this
Yep.
and this.
Yep.
All right, let's do that. Our top deck castable 4-drop strategies on point.
Craft
I
GG
agree.
bringing the Moto photos back. That was a different time in Magic.
I think this is a keep.
Yeah, you keep it. We have the
All right, chat. What should we get for lunch? Christy has offered to bring us lunch. Chipotle.
hard to go wrong.
We had Portillo's last night, so you can't. I don't. Ooh.
Is that good?
That one's pretty good, Ken.
Jeff, is that good?
We get to fetch, push, gobble a thing.
I hope he has the double one.
We actually had Panera for breakfast.
Yeah. Jeff gets some sort of vegetarian bowl.
It was an egg and cheese sandwich.
No.
Oh,
Chipotle.
Chipotle. Yeah, Chipotle's great. Rude.
Actually, have you tried the sofritas? The tofu?
I have. I'm not a big fan.
I like the taste of it. Like I'm a tofu fan just for other reasons. But
Thanks for all the content. Love listening and watching while you're working on the house. Thank you for the tier 2 resub, F Weasel. I appreciate that. Be sure to drop me a message in private and let me know what deck you'd like to bump in the queue this month with that. Well, that's a pretty easy just brutality, though, right?
Yep. Well, so I mean, no, it's definitely that.
Yeah, I think I
It's
was
definitely
like
that.
be efficient, right?
Yep. Brutality that.
Do I want to escalate pitching this?
Sure.
I think so, right? That seems pretty free.
We'll just get it back later.
Yep.
I think our plan from here is to just like
Bloodsoaked Falkenrath is kind of sweet.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think our plan from here is just to not die into Falkenrath them because their answers to it are that they're not a thing.
And I'm intentionally saving this fetch land here because we need the fetch land for Fatal Push to be able to kill what's it called? Yep.
Bugler, cards.
Syncrasy or Chipotle order.
Yep.
What's going on, Justin? We did a couple of leagues last night too, Justin, if you missed them. Sweet, and the fact that I got aggressive here is really good for us. I get to go ahead and crack this fetch land for a swamp. I get to go ahead and Fatal Push this, and then I get to attack with the Grim Lavamancer and bring back the Bloodsoaked Champion from my discard pile.
What am I blanking on here? Steak cheese.
They have another Mantis Rider. We could maybe be in trouble just because of how much damage it's going to push so quickly. But they don't. If they don't have another like Mantis Rider, this is absurdly good for us. So we definitely, both sides of the table probably have their best card in the matchup, like Grim Lavamancer versus Auriak Champion. So if we're able to kind of stabilize and go over the top with Falkenrath Aristocrat, we'll be in a very good place. The old turn 12 Aether Vial deal. Untapped land. Untapped land. All right, I think I'll take a Thoughtseize. Alrighty then.
This is a Fuego hand, and by that I mean
How am I ever beating triple Auriak Champion?
carefully.
Carefully. Yep, that's a good answer. I don't think I can beat 2/2/2/1s either, so let's go. And I guess these aren't coming in for 2 more turns. They need to draw a blue source. These are both unhuman here, so they need to either draw a blue source or get this to 2. So we got a couple of turns of poking them. Oh! Abrade is so good. Remember when we talked about how great Abrade is and how we should play more of them in every deck that can play them? Play more Abrades. This is why I brought Kent in, chat. You're not a competitive advantage,
No.
but Kent definitely is.
Craft GG. Oh, that's his second right. So I got a long, terrible, convoluted story of playing with that card, but played Magic in the lunchroom in high school. And we had this one kid that showed up and just not very socially aware, but just would show up at the table.
Can you
and just
put that in your pocket?
Yeah, and just demand to be able to play. And was just like, my decks are always good, he's always like winning. And we were playing like casual games. So eventually we start talking to him and we loop him into playing a game at 10 life. I don't know why he agreed to do this, but my friend set this up for a week, made a big deal out of it, and they sit down for lunch and they somehow get him agreed to their house rules of like making 2 extra land drops. It was really silly. And he just gets turn 1 second righted and stands up and walks away from the table and just like leaves his cards there and just is done playing Magic. Yeah.
They're gonna leave this Auriok Champion on defense and we're gonna die. They did hit the land.
Yep.
Untapped land. Alright, well, I guess we're attacking with these two,
'cause
right?
it's neutral. He'll get 2 life on the trigger. That's why I'm here, chat. Love you.
What do? You do nothing! Nothing! I actually think Auriok Champion is just a very good card in Modern right now. It's great against Hollowed One, too. Like, it just fogs all their stuff. It's absurd against Grixis Death Shadow. Just like a lot of... No, I think I'd rather save the Abrade for a creature that they could put into play.
That's where I was really confused why my phone was vibrating. We don't normally let it do that. Yeah,
The Plague Mare. Where's the Plague Mare? Oh.
Lesson learned.
Is it 3? Yep. Alright. Alright, the Plague Pony is the anti-Auriok Champion technology we didn't know we needed. I'm gonna hit them for 2 because it makes me feel better.
Let's draw the land here.
If we hit the land there, maybe we could try and race, but that was close. No, so because Magic is intuitive and easy to understand, Phantasmal Image is not an enter the battlefield effect, and the easiest way to recognize that is because it's a 0/0. If it was an enter the battlefield effect, it would just die immediately, right? So Phantasmal Image is like Phyrexian Revoker naming a card or Meddling Mage naming a card, unless you're Dan Ward. And then it's a replacement effect as it enters the battlefield. So it is an effect that happens in this kind of intermediate zone in between when the card is coming off the stack and actually entering play.
Yeah, the whole reason for Auriok Champion is for Hollow Boys and just your aggressive matchups.
Yep.
It has very little to do with Mardu Pyromancer. I mean, you bring it in because
obviously
it's
very
killing
good
it,
there, right?
But
yep.
that's not what you want it for. You definitely want it for the Hollow Boys matchup.
Yep.
So, and that's boys with an I, because we don't really know what's going on with them. I would never gender a mummy. That's dangerous.
All right, Moto's creeping on up to the 2 gigabyte mark, so we'll give it the old re-kick after this next match. Thank you very much for the 7-month resubscription, Orumvox. I appreciate that. Welcome. Thanks for keeping me employed.
Yeah, that's fair, Bruce. Yeah, I think it's correct to run 2, because the smart humans lists run 4 images.
Is it worth goldfishing hands with Saheeli, Cobra, Kai? What's the Kai in your deck? I mean, yeah, you can always goldfish and like learn to just get in reflexes on like hands to keep and hands to not keep.
This hand's fine.
This hand's very good.
I hope they're until they show us they're humans.
That's true. That's true. Thoughtseize Bob
or
is
a burn deck. Or
I
whatever.
really until we Thougeize into 6 lightning bolts. This hand is great. Woo! Basic Island.
Thoughtseize you, sir.
The only people that love Hallowed Fountain more than tournament Magic players are Magic Online Magic players.
Oh,
They're my
right.
favorite.
Well, I mean, that's because they get to take as long as they want, and they don't like have to look their opponents in the eyes. You show up to enough tournaments with a control deck, you start to feel guilty eventually.
All right, show me. Ooh, They are an aggressive deck.
Hey Jeff, what's the sideboard plan for Merfolk? What do you have written down? What do you?
Well, the problem here is these spreading seas kind of suck for us.
Nah, they're fine. Just ignore them.
How do I cast my spells? All right.
Well, Freebooter one of them, right?
Yeah, I guess that's true, actually.
Like, we have to.
That's actually, yep, super true. Got you. And how do they kill Freebooter?
No.
They don't.
Dismember.
Which member?
Dismember.
People always ask when these lands come up in Merfolk why Merfolk plays them. The reason why Merfolk plays these lands is because they want to have islands that don't get choked. I played the Temur Evolution at last FNM and killed turn 2 Noble Hierarch and Thalia with my Chain Whirler. God bless. Yeah, the Temur Evolution deck is really my favorite creature combo deck right now. Alright, so I'm going to fetch a basic Swamp here. And the reason why I'm doing this is this way if they rip a third Spreading Seas next turn, they're not spreading us off our Blood Crypt. Have you ever considered moving it? The Brady.
It's good to know Freebooter has a target. It might be a board out in this matchup. Possibly.
Almost certainly.
A little bit.
Yep. Ooh, Harsh Mentor punishes them for activating Mutavault.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was just saying it actually has text. That's cute.
Yeah, unfortunately, Kitesail Freebooter can't attack because they have Harbinger of the
Might be appropriate to just Dark Confidant.
Yeah, I think so. I think I go Bob tap land.
Oh, they can't Harbinger. They're tapped.
Well, no, next turn though.
Oh, right, because they'll
pick it up.
Right.
I think I play this, or do I play around them drawing a Lord? Let's play around them drawing a Lord. I have shown up to my last 11 comp Arguel tournaments with control decks, and I haven't felt the slightest tinge of shame, so that's not the case. That's possible, Burgle. Honestly, I think this deck was probably started by someone who asked themselves, how do I best play for Falkenrath Aristocrat? Like, almost certainly. All right, so I'm gonna show you guys Bob's hidden mode here. Doomblade.
Fucking blood.
Doomblade. do.
It's always on the way.
I think I'm still not attacking with this. This feels like a
bait.
Yeah. I think I'm gonna hold this for a Master of Waves. Because they could also be playing this out to just like pad count. Is this Bob a Doomblade too? I think he might be actually.
I think with having other attackers in hand, I don't think it is. I do think this is a 12. It might be. I mean, if it is a Doomblade, like Mentor plus push means he has to put 2 threats after this.
Yeah, let's do this. I'm gonna have a lot of Grizzly Bears. That Standard Staple Dragon was... I don't even think this card was played in Standard, right?
Nope.
Because this card was in Standard with the Dragon Master Outcast.
Red was not a thing in your
Jeskai deck, yep.
17 color deck or whatever it was.
Yep. I think the people asking about this card and why it's here have reasonable questions. Again, that's
a very reasonable.
This is a donation deck list, so we're playing card for card, something someone sent in. I actually don't mind the core of what this deck is doing. It's playing a lot of like efficient disruption and interaction, but there are Harsh Mentor is okay in some situations, but this card I'm pretty confident is just bad.
I need to get this in like the next hour. Gotta cut off the caffeine before 2, or we don't sleep. Probably doesn't help that I'm like putting in like the most caffeinated of things, but.
Call this archetype 2 cost, 2 power creatures whose only purpose in light is to trade with a... You're not wrong, Burgle.
Do you feel validated, Jeff?
You're not... I do feel validated.
Cool.
I'm glad you asked.
Okay.
I appreciate you asking.
Welcome. We might need to put it in up, though, to pay for the Curse Catcher, right?
I am putting in a swamp here.
Right.
And then this way, if they want to trade their entire board for this Fatal Push in my fetch land, I'm in. Also, they take 4 if they want to do this.
Right. Which is like pretty Mentor. Holy smokes.
Hey, what's going on, Nick Miller?
Oh, hi, Nick. Yeah.
We imported him from the West Coast for a little while.
A little bit.
Yes, the sack ability from Curse Catcher does in fact trigger Harsh Mentor. What's going on, Jace? Okay. That
Doesn't change much.
doesn't factor into the calculus at all. I'm gonna offer to trade Mentor for the 2 Curse Catchers here. If they draw a Lord exactly next turn, they're gonna have a window to smack us for 4, but we're still at 12, so it's pretty reasonable. Actually, I'm gonna smack them for 3, right? If they draw like exactly Harbinger, that's probably fine.
Yep.
When did Matt leave? Towards after like the 3rd match of last league, he's going to Chicago today. Watch some kind of sporting game. Kent is too positive. We need more salted hate.
Right.
He's met Matthew because it's funny. All right.
It's why we're a great team. There's like a balance. It's like left to right. Kent, Jeff, Matt. Oh yeah, and Go Cubs. Don't forget that one.
Formidable is how many? 8 power? How is my deck full of Grizzly Bears ever gonna have 8 power? I don't understand.
Falkenrath Aristocrat. Come on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, sure. How about that? I'll buy that.
I really like the. Are we jumping? So they have no cards in hand.
Yep, they're completely out. I definitely don't want to spend too much.
I think it's a jump and swing for 3, and we just hold up.
Yeah, that's fair. It's like slowly get them in the air.
Do we still just keep pressuring with the Mentor? Because like if they activate Mutavault, we bolt it.
Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like they have no cards in hand.
Yeah, YOLO. I definitely want to leave up my removal here, so go. Hockey's the worst because I can't call it sports ball because it's not technically correct.
Stick puck.
Stick puck.
Ice fight.
Stick puck. I like ice fight. That's a good one. Ice fight. Love it.
Sports puck. That is true. But to be clear, before we get too far down that, don't go hating on people because they like sports. Remember, sport ball does many times have a pretty negative connotation. So if you're in a sport-friendly environment, you use that phrase. Don't be surprised when people are like,
Listen, I call this a children's card game, and I call sports sports
But
balls.
I'm just letting the Magic players know when they interface with the athletic types, they might not be as receptive. And if they say it thinking it's funny, you might really anger Uncle Rick or someone over here.
Uncle
So
Rick.
I'm just letting you know. Working near the sports industry, people get pretty sensitive.
Oh no!
Why does this have flash?
We've fallen for their trap card. Oh no! Wait, they might try and eat it, and then I can terminate it in response. Wait, if they get rid of the text, they don't get their spreading seas back, right? That's how this works?
I'm pretty sure that's how it works.
That is how... Deal. Why do they get it back?
There's no text.
Why would they get it back? It has no text on it.
Unless it, like, loses the ability when it hits the graveyard.
It literally... Yeah, but you've wiped all... An Anonomic, thank you for the 4-month resubscription. I don't give a sports puck about a sports ball. It's welcome back.
Before we go to blockers, we definitely have a consideration for maybe bolting a Mutavault.
The text of the cards, chat, determines what the cards do.
I can read the initial trigger creates a delayed trigger. Like, that sounds like some reasonable rules. But to say that to say that the text doesn't matter without following up with the delayed trigger.
They get it back. Trust us. No, there's no trust here, chat. I've met you all. All trust has been removed. All right, and now I can't save it, so we're gonna find out for science what happens here.
Yep. I also like how we're slowly creeping towards Bolt, connecting with the face.
They got their card back.
What?
Wait, how can it be a delayed trigger if it doesn't use the stack?
MTG Brews hooked us up with a link.
This says no citation. This is a bad link. There's no citation or validation here. Nothing. You need sources, chat. You gotta source your stuff. At least the Harsh Mentor got him for 2 on the Mutavault activation.
I was kind of surprised he didn't like throw something at the Mentor, like because we're nearing.
All right, here's the thing. You should a valid response to why something should work the way it is never
Bolt or Terminate.
Is never, well, it worked this way on Magic Online. That's never a valid response. It worked this way on Magic Online, so that's how the rules work. You're gonna get yourself into all sorts of trouble with those. Don't ever make that mistake. All right, this Bolt could steal this game here for us. Getting game 1 here is probably pretty good for us. Kid knows how to schmooze.
Yeah, right.
All right, well, this is an easy face smash here.
Oh, that's fair.
Hopefully they don't have another tricky.
Definitely do that.
Hopefully they don't have another tricky. Did you get lunch from somewhere else? I used to have a lot of Chipotle. God bless Chipotle. This stream is in no way sponsored or endorsed by Chipotle, but Chipotle, if you're out there, it definitely could be. Work with me.
Were you a Chiptopia resident?
Of course I was a Chiptopia.
I was a Chiptopia.
Of course I was a Chiptopia.
Our whole team were triple Chiptopia. Premium master residents, like kings of the Chiptopia land.
We had plenty of catering, okay?
Yeah. Worth every penny.
Absolute good story. That's a mouthful.
Giving them a bingo square?
I'm giving them a bingo square.
That'll be yours. One of these
I
feels.
don't know why SE means salad.
Yep, that's what I didn't understand.
But yours was first.
All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and bolt the Trickster here. Just try and keep more of my things alive. Harsh Mentor got in with 2 activations this game. It's pretty good.
What?
Deal. Okay, so they're at 2. Have a Bloodsoaked Champion to return. All right, I'm gonna run to the bathroom. Don't mess this up.
I won't.
Or don't click. Either way, you know, dealer's choice.
Yeah, I'm clicking.
If I come back and we're dead, I'm gonna be upset.
They played a relic. That doesn't do a whole lot. Kill yourself with the relic, please. It was a tough game, chap. Made the right decisions. I'm gonna make this begin sideboarding selection. All right, so I need everyone to understand the correct strategy for sideboarding against Merfolk. You just write, lol, Merfolk's not a deck, and then panic when you play against it, have no clue what to do.
Do we win?
We did. Our opponent elected to just not do things.
Look at all of our removal.
Right.
I don't think this is a Plague Mare matchup.
Nope.
So, Kitesail can GTFO. Like, I feel like I don't want 4 Thoughtseizes, though.
How does How does Strike Leader?
He makes 2/1, so he's probably fine. Just like value.
Mm-hmm. That's fair.
I think I want to cut at least 2 of these. Honestly, maybe this Xathrid Necromancer is just fine. Because, like, we're going to kill their lords. And then, like, yeah, block trade a bunch. And I'm going to submit. Yeah, that's a good combo. All right, I'm going to mute for a moment and gobble some Chipotle chat. Don't go anywhere. We're going to play this league and many more. His hand's really good. We get to
Hey, Harsh Mentor's back.
push a dork on 1, play Bob on 2, and try to create some advantage here, hopefully. We get to lead on Polluted Delta here, so they can't spread us on 2 either, which is great. Bolt's a good pickup. I feel like the only way we're going to lose this game is if we get spread out of it. And the fact that we, like, get to guaranteed push into Bob here means that's pretty unlikely to happen. I think even if they just play something like a Silvergill Adept here, I'm going to go ahead and push it, because I basically just want to, like, guarantee that I'm getting to stick Bob on an empty board. This is a Silvergill Adept, revealing... Sure. People play Merfolk. Johnny Boy, thank you for the 5-month resubscription. I appreciate it. Can you explain why you have a permanent stop on damage phase but not upkeep / draw? Because damage doesn't happen, the damage phase doesn't happen that often. Mm-hmm. And sometimes you want to do things before main 2. Peace days. Jack the Manic, thanks for the resub. When you resub, you have to refresh your browser page and send a notification with it. You to attach a message alongside it. Mm-hmm. But you have the icon next to your name there, so you are subbed currently.
Hi, Dylan. Don't worry, Ken. I'm not going back into content production. I came home to visit some family and got a couple days of just time off to hang out.
I mean, I don't have to speculate if the Magic community is growing.
Of course it's growing.
I can point to the Hasbro numbers that say Magic has experienced double-digit percentage growth in the last, year. So it is objectively larger.
am loving the sprint towards making enough money where I can be very confident in playing Magic just as a casual thing.
Fun fact. You can target things without revolt on this, so we can go ahead and do this. And then do this. Highlights from Gen Con. This one right here. Warhammer card game was my favorite thing there, though. It's the TLDR. I've been subbed to you slightly longer than I've been moved out of my parents' house. Raging Yoshi, thanks for the 11 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
Pandasaurus's point.
Panda's hit is right on the head. The thing that people miss a lot of the time is that the competitive portion of Magic is very small. In fact, even the people that aren't competitive but just like know enough to know that like Magic exists on Twitch, like the fact that you are watching this stream puts you in a huge minority for people who play Magic. A lot of people play Magic very, very casually. The kitchen table players, the result of are put more money into this game than most competitive players combined. We are basically the 1% of Magic players.
Yep.
Very, very small. Thanks for the 2-month 3 sub. I do what I do because I love it, but the subs are the reason that I'm here this often. Ain't that the truth? Thanks and welcome back, Jack. So, we have a couple of choices here. We could dash the Strike Leader. I kind of feel like I just want to be mana efficient though and go like attack with Bob, play Champion, play Strike Leader. And just like, because he just makes a token when he attacks. So if he's in play, he's just going to make a token every turn.
I don't dislike the Strike Leader Bloodsoaked Champion line, but I'm questionable on giving up the Bob.
Oh.
Like
they have 3 cards. Oh, you just want to sit on the Bob? Yeah, I guess that's fair.
Like maybe one more card. There's a consideration for Mentor hold up Abrade, but...
Yeah, Mentor hold up Abrade, I feel like... Well, for starters, they have Curse Catcher, so that really doesn't get paid off.
Course, right.
Yeah. I think I want to prioritize red mana here more than black.
No.
All I know is if I see Can't Kid her at the next CG Open, I'm going to be disappointed. Have you ever typed your password for something and then realized you were typing in Twitch chat, not the website you were trying to log into? No, I can't say that I've done that. What was the name of the Warhammer card game that I played at Gen Con? Age of Sigmar Champions. You have a TLDR and what I like most about the Warhammer card game. I felt like the gameplay was fairly engaging, and it was a unique gameplay as far as gameplay was concerned. Like, I'm sure if you're one of the person who's played a lot of different card games, there's a lot of new card games that exist that are just like, they feel like they're reskinned Magic in some way, shape, or form, basically. And the Warhammer card game didn't feel like reskinned Magic. It felt like it was a new game that let me make interesting decisions while I was playing it, basically. I think I just clear their board here, right? Just like Abrade this, Brutality this, Smash. I'll probably escalate the Brutality too, huh? Just for like, okay, I don't want to escalate because they're gonna sack their thing.
No, because I also think both those cards are perfectly fine. But
That's
yes,
true too.
Definitely,
yep.
let's get physical.
I've not played the Munchkin card game.
I've heard good things about the Munchkin card game.
And another reason why, so like as an adult who has minimal amounts of time, like my first thought when I'm thinking about getting into a new game, especially a card game, is does it have a digital offering? And the Warhammer card game is going to link seamlessly into digital. So like the fact that it's a game that I had fun playing in paper, but honestly the fact that it's going to have a digital component is honestly probably more important to me at this point in my life. That's a little bit brutal that they have Master of Waves. Huh. I prioritize getting red, and I'm getting kind of punished for that.
So if we put Necromancer in play...
I'm very familiar with Artifact, Rump of Steel. I'm familiar with everything that we know about it.
I think there's some merit here in going Necromancer, crack with
Strike Leader
Champion.
Yeah, I like
and then
that.
next turn we have a throwaway for
Yep.
kind of the same sequence. There also is a consideration for Confidant to start going sideways.
Someone commented on the PT. I don't think the PT coverage was awful as a whole, but I do think it is beyond absurd that
Their producer's terrible.
it's beyond absurd that we don't have time-shifted matches at the Pro Tour. It's like the best thing about...
I don't think you throw the Warrior away.
they're unblockable. Oh, I guess this could block elementals. Yeah, you're right. You're right. No, Merfolk is worse spirits. Spirits is worse humans. Get the garbage tier vile deck hierarchy right.
No.
Gengar, you are timed out because that's factually incorrect. Please do your homework before spewing in my channel. The Pro Tour has never had time-shifted feature matches. At least not in recent memory in the last 2 to 3 years. And before that, they probably didn't have the technology to do time-shifted feature matches, so never is probably a reasonable assessment.
You know, it's fair to say I didn't realize how much pressure they had on us, but it was probably a Confidant attack last turn too.
Yep. Yeah, I think I held on to this a turn too long. I think I should have started off this turn sooner. Yep. Bobby! Yeah, I think, I don't know. Like, it could also just be like we weren't beating Master. Honestly, the mistake I made that game probably was I shouldn't have burned the Fatal Push the turn I killed the Cure. I should have burned 2 bolts to hold the Fatal Push to beat Master.
I was going to say that.
Do I want this Plague Mare? Nah, I don't think so. I'm just gonna run it back. Yeah, I guess the Brutality we could have saved too. Because this card does kill Master of Waves. Yeah, I think that game was a good example of, and this is one of the reasons why Magic is such a hard game to improve at, because it's very easy to look at that game that we just played and go, well, we could just never beat Master of Waves. We were unlucky because we didn't draw any removal, and instead of looking back and going, well, I had these tools this game, and the way I chose to use my tools was inefficient in terms of prioritizing the cards that were actually beating me. So, like, I had a plethora of removal, but the way I prioritized using that removal was inefficient and allowed my opponent to get out ahead of us.
Ken, I really would have... I think the Hollow Flare deck is exactly up the hot takes alley. Like, spicy enough to top 8 in event or maybe win one, but definitely something that I would have fumbled through amazingly playing it on a Monday at 7 a.m. or something after a road trip. One point about Plague Mare, while it does like appear narrow because of the white creature text with the -1, it -1's all their things, not just white creatures. So I mean, it is a bad pontiff.
I think your card, like Consume the Meek, might seeing some sideboard plays. I don't think there are green-black. I'm not familiar. There aren't any green-black decks that I'm aware of in Modern that ramp. So I'm not really sure like what you're describing. This hand's pretty good. It ideally wants a little bit more removal. We get to curve Bloodsoaked into Bob on the play, which is great. We did play Hollow Flare. That was the first deck that we played today. This is our third deck of the day. along, moving along. Do 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 do. Do 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 do.
Yep, it's elves would definitely play Consume the Meek. That sounds like an 80 degree.
I mean, saying spirits don't have a lot of parallels to humans, I think is very disingenuous or misunderstanding like what the archetypes are doing. Like, humans and spirits are both decks that are accessing Aether Vial. They're playing creatures with disruptive elements, and they're playing lords to make those creatures bigger than they otherwise would be by being synergistic, basically. So I think saying that they're not similar, I think is silly. I think they have a ton of overlapping things.
I think that's unnecessarily digging for like uniqueness to try to say.
Yeah, you're just like looking for a reason to like feel smart about playing your spirits deck instead of playing humans. Basically, is what that feels like to me.
Surely only like aren't there like really like 3 or 4 archetypes in Magic, and it's just all like permutations of.
Yeah, a lot of like they're very very similar.
Feels like it's the same logic as like this guy invented this. We need to grasp onto it. No one cares.
Yep. Poor Bobby. He was supposed to pull this hand up by its... Yay, Bobby! I believe in you, Bob. I would believe that assessment, that Bant Spirits feels more dissimilar to humans because of the less parallels, because you have company instead of Vial. I also know that the last time we played Bant Spirits on stream, I was really unimpressed with it. Just like moving towards more 2-drops while it's nice for helping your non-mana door cans, it definitely makes your collected companies a lot worse.
Thank you, Emrakul.
Can't get her is the best thing about this stream. Look, I mean, I make all of y'all look at my ugly face like 30 hours a week, so I figured I'd bring in someone that looks decent.
Once in a while.
We had nothing but modern staples here, Mathematic. We do what we can. We do what we can because we care. All right, Bobby. Show me Doomblade. Doomblade! Yeah!
Wow.
Woo! Alrighty, well, let's terminate their employment. Was I supposed to Fatal Push so I could save this fetch for a thing?
No. So we just...
Yeah, we just jam, right? They're going to 8 here? Yeah, probably. Are you okay with this weird corn? Can't Getter was born and raised on cornfield time.
Yeah, what are you talking about?
He's a Seattle import. Yeah. He went out to the wrong coast later in life.
It's better than the right one. Literally, the right one is not right. I don't know. There's a joke there somewhere. But
The right
East Coast sucks.
the right coast and the wrong coast, man.
Yeah. No, but the East Coast sucks. I cannot express that any more clearly. I would rather live in the Midwest.
How do you feel? Let me know. Can you be less?
The only place I'm less likely to live than the Northeast or the Upper East Coast is like the Deep South.
Gosh, you were like so popular here, and now you just like flamed half the country. And you're just like, everybody's gone. Everybody's like, this Kent Ketter guy, get him out of here. We thought we liked him. Nope. Nobody likes Kent Ketter.
2 minutes, I'd be okay with the Gulf Coast. That's not bad. I wasn't a fan of the East Coast. I was stationed in New York for a little bit. Really just the density there. Like, it just felt like it was one massive busy city after another. And while Seattle is, pretty, like, compact, you can still access nature a little bit. I honestly, live wherever makes you happy. This is just me being inflammatory because it's fun.
Kent is changing. Oh, no. Kent is going off at an alienated grant to harden his image.
Hey, I spent my summers in the South. Mom was stationed in the Deep South for the variety of summers, so, yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, Kent's definitely visited all these places he's currently dropping trow and pooping on.
Right.
Vendilion Clique. What if I fetched and Fatal Push your Vendilion Clique in response? Oh, we're clicking ourselves. Deal resolves. Hey, y'all. Watch this. Does a Kent rant count as a Jeff rant for bingo?
Y'all.
Does your square say Kent rant or Jeff rant? Come on now. Does this 12 count as a 2? Kind of. I mean, it has a 2 in it, right? I tapped the wrong one. All right.
I'm like, what?
What's going on? I was like, that swamp doesn't. All right. Are you digit? Woo! No, okay. We've been really bad at drawing Falkenrath Aristocrat, except when we're stuck on 3 lands.
Right. You know what's great? Next turn we get this champion shenanigans.
It's really a shame that they're dead.
Yeah, I know.
You know what the worst part about killing your opponent is? You have to stop drawing cards.
Schmanka, I believe Merfolk is tier lower than that. Like, whew.
We played Merfolk on stream at some point this year, and we actually beat every Jund deck that we played, which were 3 of them in that league, and we lost everything else, so it was just weird.
I would say for me, the Deep South is like south of Tennessee, you excluded
Fish is tier 1 in the tier 2 bracket. Does that make you feel better? All right, I'm going to mute and chow some more. Wait for a match. Don't go anywhere. Your best. All right, let's get on the play here. 2 1s for 1 and lightning bolts, chat. Let's do it. What do I think of Burn? Burn's okay. Burn just made the finals of an SCG Open. You should look at that deck list.
Somebody mentioned red-black wizards.
Oh, red-black wizards. That's actually an interesting idea. I had someone ask about that.
Yeah, they just threw it in chat.
Here's the problem with red-black wizards. Dark Confidant Wizard Lightning, technically not a combo.
It's true. It's back in the old. Who played Dark Confidant Hit and Run? It was fun. That was fun.
Did Kent live in Kent while in the Seattle area?
I actually worked in Kent. Specifically did not live in Kent because when I went for my interview in Kent, both waitresses made the joke of, oh, you're Kent and Kent and Kent. And I immediately found Heisling in Seattle. It was just like not happening. No way.
All right. Oh, this tags fetch lands, doesn't it? Let's do that. Put these towards Blue Black Fae. Thank you, Zal. 10 out of 10 will do. Appreciate the support. As always, for every 100 bits you cheer or $1 you donate, you can pick a deck that's already in the queue and move it on up. The people that help support my content here get to dictate what we play and how soon we play it, because I wouldn't be here without their support.
Corey, I didn't. I went to Indiana University.
Jeskai.
They respect it.
Why you have to kill my harsh mentor? So mean. So mean. Attack you for 2. Just get him. I think I'm just playing my other Bloodsoaked Champion here.
Yeah, I don't see a reason not to.
Devil don't. Thank you very much for the bits. I appreciate it.
They're gonna detention sphere us.
I'm gonna bolt the one that I tend to sure.
That's good play.
It's good claiming. I would love a swamp. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, Peppermint. The law school there is solid. I've heard the same thing on the funding side. I studied policy analysis, so the heavy quantitative degree in the public policy, public affairs sector at SPIA. And hopefully transitioning into analytics full time.
I do like that this deck gets to play a lot of basics. Maybe I should lead on the Thoughtseize here.
I think you're supposed to.
I could have fetched a Shockland tapped too. Because like now if they have Snapcaster or another path, I just get like really sad.
Yep.
Yeah, I definitely should have played the Thoughtseize first. Just a better use of my resources, like the control decks are like trying to make their answers line up well into our stuff. So if we like poke through their answers, generally we have a much harder time doing that. The upside to this is we do get to get it under Cryptic Command, which is nice, but I think that's not quite worth it.
Corey, I actually visited Purdue's campus, and my mom was living in Bloomington at the time, needed a little help, but I visited Purdue's campus because I was an engineering student prior, and it was too square and stone and industrial. I did like Bloomington being a little bit more of the traditional, like college experience.
Yeah, the opponent's just playing deltas for budget reasons, almost certainly. Sad. Yeah, 10 out of 10 should have Thoughtseize there, I think.
So if they block here, as is appropriate.
Deal.
Wow.
Deal. No respect. No respect.
Yeah, I really liked how Indiana had just like a kind of a clear division, and they're making it a bit further between Purdue versus IU. But yeah, it's anybody that throws shade between the two schools that hasn't been to them just doesn't understand that like they're offering different services, but they're both pretty neat. But Little 5 is much better than whatever junk you do up at Purdue.
So I get to go ahead and lead on Thoughtseize here, which will probably get the Cryptic Command if they have it, and then we get to play Kitesail Freebooter and like poke with the removal spell afterwards, which is nice. Like taking a Lightning Helix here could easily be game winning.
Zuchin, that's the most typical IU timeline, assuming you didn't go to grad school.
Electrolytes. Okay. All right. I think I'm just playing a 1-1-2. I like how Kitesail Freebooter adds their cards to the reveal zone twice. It's just good programming. Their fetch is definitely hurting them a little bit here, having to prioritize non-red mana. Sib, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Just gonna send this upstairs, I think, since I didn't fetch a third red source. This way we can rip another Bolt or Brutality and kill them. Fatal Push is not the worst. We do have to worry about this a little bit because they are like a pseudo burn deck to a degree.
Mm-hmm. They draw Lightning Helix here, we're gonna be real unhappy. Well.
Yep, they did get to Serum Vision, so they could see a little bit of selection going on. It's the last card that we know about. Waiting to draw Modern Staple Mardu Strike Leader here.
Dash isn't cast, right?
I forgot to Bloodsoaked Champion. My graveyard even popped up for a second too.
Thanks, chat. I'm kidding.
I'd like the record to reflect that I got there before the rest of chat did.
I wonder if they have the bolt for the freebooter. Yep, they're dead. This is glorious.
Hopefully.
No,
hopefully.
They're dead. We got this. We got this.
Gobble gobble. They could have another path, Kent. They could have another path. Don't do it to me. Upstairs.
Can I grab this? I don't really know what's going on with this. I don't know what that joke's supposed to be. Anyway.
I don't know. All right, so this is definitely a matchup for these cards and these cards and Blood Moon.
I like free wins. Do you like free wins?
I like free wins. Yeah, I'm a big fan of free wins.
I have a feeling we have enough bad cards to take out that.
Fatal Push and Terminate, Grim Lavamancer. This card should not be in our deck. It's so bad. It's so bad. I'm going to leave a Bolton, in fact, over it. It's a lot of 3s. I think it's okay, but it's a lot of 3s.
Mm-hmm.
And like we want to turn off Celestial Colonnade, so Blood Moon seems fine from that perspective too.
Mm-hmm. I think this deck feels reasonable because it does the combination of having something attack and playing interactive spells for your opponent.
Isn't Ash Zealot just better? Just better is a strong statement, but in this deck, Ash Zealot's probably a better card than Dragon Whisperer.
Yeah.
Honestly, just like maining more Grim Lavamancers. You could main Abrade, you could play another Fatal Push. Just like, I think there's a lot of things that could be over this Dragon Whisperer. The Whisperer is not particularly good in my opinion. It's really, really kind of clunky and awkward.
You know there has to be some weird 1 or 2 drop human that we haven't looked at for...
Yep. Ash Zealot's fine. Has text, 2-1, first strike case. Just like does
lost
things.
In the finals have been open with Ash Zealot. Oh, mono red.
Oh, mono red.
I don't think the deck wants to go any bigger. Like, I don't think you need more 4s in the deck. Copter wouldn't be terrible. I think Copter might serve the better purpose of Whisperer because we want to resolve any sort of, like, wrong half issues with
Can't
being
lose.
a mid-range deck.
Can't lose.
Wow.
Can't lose.
Wow.
All right, good.
Is this good?
Can't lose has been declared, Chip. I want you to know that I'm aware things only go downhill after you declare can't lose, but I would like to be on the record with declaring can't lose here.
We're trying to figure that out, Jay Walla. I would absolutely Abbot Carol Keep.
Abbot Carol Keep is hot.
That's
actually.
a wizard, right? Is that a wizard?
I don't think so.
I like what we're doing here, but I definitely think it needs to be understood that, like...
Human monk, stupid monks. Stupid monks doing stupid things with their stupid faces. Fetch to basic planes, eh? You know what's up, do you, Travis? You know the Blood Moons are coming for ya. You just wanted the Path Madork deal.
So what we got over there, friend?
What you got, friendo? I like friends. I like friends.
Do we take the Serum Visions and make them fire off the Electrolyte? Wait.
Nah, I'm just gonna
Take that.
Nice Sulfur Falls.
Well, my thought is if we take the Serum Visions... Nah, you're right.
The Blood Moon's gonna choke their mana enough regardless, I think.
I want them to crack this. That's really what we're going for.
Kitesail. I think I'm playing another Kitesail this turn.
I'm okay with that.
It's like I guaranteed get to take Serum Visions. Like
Right. It's also gonna, like, they might fetch into a shot.
they might fetch it. They might fetch a tap land. Yep.
I also like, no, we get the sure.
This is the basic Ion Logic Knot.
Okay.
Sure. Nah, it's not a ghost. They just want to cast their cards.
Yeah, like the control player assuming like an aggressive red deck would bring in Blood Moon is not like completely out of the question.
We have taken them off of blue by Blood Mooning there. No, they cracked their fetch in response, Rod.
Correct. I think that's a really good point. That if they don't have the fetch there, we just toss it out and see what happens.
Yeah, if they didn't fetch, I definitely would have jammed the Blood Moon there.
Mm-hmm.
Because they did have the fetch, I think it was worth it to play the Kitesail to try and take the Serum Visions out of their hand, but I could go either way. No blocks.
We are sticking a Blood Moon next turn.
While I really like the back and forth and the stack in Magic is one of the things that makes Magic great, I do have to say when like I'm playing another game like Hearthstone or the Warhammer game or any of these other games that don't have that, like it's almost therapeutic in a way. Like I like it here and I like the things that it lets me do here, but just sometimes playing a game where I know like this card's gonna enter play and I'm happy because my card's gonna resolve, and it's just like it feels that flip side feels good too.
Mm-hmm. It's almost like people want to play with the things that they showed up to the tournament with.
Weird.
Yeah, right.
Strange.
Wow.
I'm hungry, can't get her.
Whew.
Hungry.
This is the intersection of what I like. Fringe card beating control deck. Wow.
I think we're still dead, but we'll try. We'll try it. At least we're not dying to this colonnade. Alright, I've got Liliana the Last Hope, I got Bolt, I got a Brutality. We need to take old Snappy Poo off the table here. Let's lead on this. It transforms into a mountain. Oh no! They know what's up. Well.
At first I was like, is this a freebooter error? No.
I take my own way out. All right, Blood Moon's better on the play. We're gonna leave it. Flood it out a little bit there. Touch, just a scotch of mana. Scotch of mana. I think I want Grim Lavamancer in my deck actually. I think he kills their poopers and he attacks.
Just one.
Yeah, it's just better than the
Probably
bolt, I
better
think.
than the bolt.
Yep. Neither are good. I did declare can't lose. That's true.
Good call, chat.
Good call. I had forgotten.
Thank you, chat.
Can't lose had been declared so long ago that I had forgotten. All the hope and enthusiasm had been slowly beaten out of me.
It's like Blood Moon. If you make conscious decisions from the first turn, can be navigated around, and our opponent demonstrated that.
Yep.
Good for them.
Yep.
I did love playing Jund and just like getting to a point where I was just like, you know what, I'm done with this. Basic. Are we done here?
We're done here. Yep. That's weird. Your deck's full of bad cards after your Blood Moon, so you can't win anymore. Weird. How's everyone doing out there? Hope everyone's having a good Monday. We got 1,100 people hanging out here still. My name's Jeff Hogan. I'm hanging out here with Kent Ketter. He's a fellow Magic the Gathering player.
Timeout, Drew. It would have been a mountain on the flip.
It would have been a mountain on the flip. Yep. Is 22 lands a lot in this deck? No, I don't think so. We want to curve to 3 and 4 pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
Is that good?
This one good?
Hey, Jeff. Do you want to declare a can't lose?
Nope.
Okay, that's smart.
Nope. Yep, I've learned. They say you can't teach a dumb dog new tricks. Take the card that beats you, chat.
Yep.
Look it. You're gonna want to feel cute and be like, but if I take the Serum Visions, maybe they'll never find another removal spell, and then my Kitesail can take the Supreme Verdict, and then I won't die. Take the Supreme Verdict. It's going to kill you. Take the card that ends your life. Look at that. You got choices.
Wow, they are in trouble here.
Here, yep. If we hit the land next turn, you get to like stick this Last Hope. It's gonna be very, very good. You love the TCG play race. Listen, that's how y'all sound. Land. God bless us, everyone.
I do enjoy making content with Jeff. I had a really good time. Remember we made the Hex Heroes Heads Up videos?
Yep.
Those were fun. Our technology to make it happen was ragtag as they come, but I loved it.
How much am I gonna lose if I build a deck and sell it back? The answer is it depends. I mean, you could find that number out for yourself. Like you get a lot of them. I believe Traders even has this like thing that estimates how much they buy your stuff for.
And the other thing to think is if you put cash in, you'll get a PayPal discount. But remember, when you go out for ticks, you're not going to carry that same discount.
Yep. And you do get more back if you're turning decks into other decks. You get more back when you're doing Storm Credit. Snapcaster Mage did kill us, JW.
I would really like to see someone spreadsheet out, basically make the chart that shows the difference between rental, swapping, and like, you know, showing on a curve based on like the number of times you want to change a month.
Yeah,
Type
fine.
of thing. Like there's an answer for it.
There's an average number somewhere
Yeah.
in the middle. It's gonna seem a little bit harsh, opponent, but it's what you need. It's the tough love that you crave, opponent. Well, now I get to play Necromancer because they've decided to field it for me right now for some reason.
They didn't want to take 2.
Oh, yep, you're right.
Watch they follow up with Snare. Be kind of hot. Has anyone played Necromancer in the sideboard of legit humans? I've been debating it.
Is that worse than? I feel like the older builds used to play 1 or 2.
They've always had access to it. I think the real consideration of why it's not like hot fire is anger. Out of some of your mid range decks, like it doesn't slot well there. Yeah, I do think the Wrath decks are not your worst matchup. I would rather play those.
I really like
as
Teague.
opposed to Jund.
Like
Yeah.
Teague
Yeah.
just like covers so many bases.
I need to find. Let me try to find an article. So there's an article written by one of the Japanese players, and it's all in Japanese, but he expands really heavily, and he's a Hall of Famer. Let me find it. Trago sent it to me. But he basically talks in there how you're supposed to shut up and play Teague.
Shut up and play Teague. Got it.
All right.
I don't know which player that is.
I can never. I'll send you the link, and I'll have Jeff put this link in chat. But this is from a Harui article, and it's in Japanese. But I am confident that this is.
Does Google Translate work on Japanese?
It does. I've had Trago sent it to me, and Spicklemeyer. Woo, buddy. Consideration for this deck might be Cavern of Souls.
Huh. Yeah, it's not a bad idea.
Could always be Cavern. Jeff. Here. You can translate it using Google Translate. And I'm apologies, I'm not sure who the pro is. I don't do a good job of differentiating. But it's really good.
WotC's really bad at branding their professionals. I can't tell you half the people who have top 8'd Pro Tours or top 4'd or whatever. Remember, chat, always let your memes be memes. What's going on, Mr. Photon? Thanks for the 3-month free subscription and welcome back. Thanks for keeping me employed for another month. Should I feel bad letting my turns player time out? Not at all. Not at all. There's a steam vent that we knew about. And, like, they need to check the board, and they need to check this Liliana that's slowly ticking up.
Go to combat, they tap the team, bounce Lily. I gotta say, this is lining up nicely.
Oh, they drew a card.
It's fair. Do you know what's also fair? Gimme.
Show me your choice. Oh. You think they were counting on that one to answer Liliana? Probably. Do I play
Before
Harsh
we
Mentor?
that's what I was because with Aristocrat, like.
I feel like I'm supposed to, right? Because like if they wrath us, we're just like alt this. I mean, yeah, but if they bounce her, then they're dead to these dorks. They need to like upkeep tap bounce, and then I just like replay her, and then like they're in a very similar position the following turn.
All aboard the beatdown bus, but I'm German.
Incred Quad, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. Goblin Chariot, thanks for the new Prime. There's a lot of great people making a lot of great stuff on Twitch right now. Thanks for supporting mine this month. Activate your search for Azcanta. Why don't you dig for like a lightning helix, gain some health, opponent?
Incrediquade. That is a heck of a name. Incrediquade. Oh, nice Azcanta.
Oh, no!
Sack a nerd. Give it indestructible.
They're helixing Liliana.
Oh! Sorry, I thought they were targeting the... Okay. Yeah, that's fine. Let me just kill them.
They have a cryptic.
8, 9... Oh, right. Oh, and they have Atlanta. Yeah.
Fine, fog me.
Nah, again, Gar, the reason they can't brand Mike Trout is because the sports writers in MLB are old and dumb.
Yeah. If you stifle a Planeswalker ultimate with Nimble Obstructionist, for instance, it does lose the counters. Removing the counters or adding the counters is part of putting the Planeswalker activated ability on the stack, and those counters change regardless of if the trigger resolves. The easiest way to determine whether or not something happens as part of putting it on the stack or when it resolves is everything to the left of the colon happens when you put the thing on the stack. So those basically happen automatically and you don't get to respond to them. Who did I bribe to bring in the big guns? Kent was just in town visiting. Ooh, doggy!
Card's terrible, but it's looked great here.
Heads look great. All right, all I'm saying is we're here to dirtle.
It's doing that.
And Arguel's Bloodfast is here to help. Kent's not a Magic professional anymore. He wised up and became a real adult.
I adulted, but now I'm an unemployed adult, so it's weird.
That's weird. All right. That's true, Cards. That did work really well last night.
A lot of basics. This felt real nice.
I like playing lots of basic lands. It's arguably my favorite. Hey, Adavan, thank you for the brand new Twitch Prime subscription. I really appreciate that. Everyone out there, if you do have Amazon Prime, like many people do, I don't know how people survive without Amazon Prime. I need my 2-day shipping, Ken.
I don't know.
When I order things on non-Amazon sites, it's like, why does it take so long to get to... Sorry. Anyways, if you have Amazon Prime, make sure you link it to your Twitch account and give that to somebody. Even if you don't like me specifically, there are tons of people streaming that have subscribe buttons. Using a Twitch Prime subscription is like taking money out of Amazon's pocket and giving it to a content creator. So give it to somebody.
We went 3-2 with JAC last night. I only almost timed out once, and Jeff stepped in to win it with like 10 seconds left. The West Coast is pretty awesome. Cost of living is a little bit higher. I pay $700 a month for my room now. But in my industry, or trying to get into analytics, it's just better advancement and, well, money out there. So
Celestial Purge. That was a good one. They have multiple purges in their deck. Gosh.
I can get behind that.
Jund was really mean to you, weren't they, opponent? Mm-hmm. Are we going to see counter bounce? Just keep treading water like that. Counter draw. Okay. I already activated that. Pass, I guess. Pass.
Yeah, Corey, I think I'm going to be around Magic. Now, just more in a, like, casual competitive. I don't know what you want to call it, but I still like to play the format.
Ken plays Magic for fun. It's this weird thing we've been trying out.
I play for fun, but I only play really like, I love playing high-end competitive difficult Magic. So, yes, it's for fun, but I play humans and, like, only want to play the best decks.
Survey says they don't have red mana. God bless. Like, what happened here? What's going on? Pretty sure I'm just going to 7.
And Crediquade, let me see if I can get the comment. I'm just going to defer. This was sent over by Tregos, who cached there, but...
Where are the Lava Claw Reaches? Asking the real questions. If they want to fire up Colonnade to pressure Liliana, they have to take... No! No! You're supposed to have to take damage to fire up Colonnade, opponent! Okay, we just need to draw Modern Staple Mardu Strike Leader, chat, and we'll be okay. You just need to draw Modern Staple Mardu Strike Leader. It's not going to do it. I've been watching you for a month now, mostly on YouTube, and I got to say, you're one of the few Magic streamers and content creators actually entertaining to watch. Keep up the great work. Well, thanks for the support, Adavan. I'm glad you enjoy the YouTube stuff. I think I'm obligated to get my Harsh Mentor back at this point. Ooh! Or Modern Staple Mardu Strike Leader. Dashing. We dashing. All right, we're running towards the finish line, chat. We're running towards the finish line. Let's go. Let's go. Put your kicks on. Get your Nikes. What do the kids call shoes these days? Is it kicks? Is kicks the word I'm looking for?
I think they're just called those.
Those?
As in, what are those? That's fair. Sorry. When I was looking through the article and building like my information on it, I definitely think a lot of the good, well-written articles are pre-Bugler. I think a lot of folks post-Bugler are still trying to figure out the constraint of like, I want sideboard cards like Teague, but Bugler is like a slow card to find it, but the idea is you have more copies. Sorry, my brain as far as sorting through humans has been this mishmash of old information, the stuff from the last weekend, and then talking to people in person.
And I feel like a big part of it too is like to fit buglers in, you need to trim other things. They need to like reassess and reprioritize which ones are the untouchables now, because like we thought we knew all of the untouchables, but like what are actually untouchable change when you add a new card like that.
And I think it's fair if you want to play 3 buglers, really think long and hard about that Avacyn's Pilgrim as the fifth one. A turn 2 bugler is like pretty powerful, or turn 2 Manus Rider, it doesn't matter what it is. Turn 2 a lot of things.
This is painful as a young person. That's why it's funny.
Karnfather, I can answer that one. He will go to the ones that are fun events to play. But winning one's not going to change that.
No, I don't intend to play more opens.
It's like we spent years wasting time doing that.
Traveling to tournaments. I am a realist. I know when I run hot, and the answer to that is anybody who top 8s any tournament ran hot to do so. So while it was nice to go back and play a tournament and not lose money doing it, I don't intend to start playing opens regularly again. I get to play a lot of Magic here as my job, and
in Crediquade, if you're gonna throw out the previous comment of 4 buglers is great in my meta, I feel like you want to open first with it. Maybe that was a bit aggressive, but like, I don't know, man. Like, bugler is the entire discussion point with humans right now.
I feel like too, like people like to over focus on they're doing something because of a meta in Modern, and like unless you're like playing at the same local game store or like the same 12 people show up every week, even at a tournament where there's like 30 people showing up, like there's good chance a lot of those people own more than one deck, and like being able to like hard metagame, I feel like is something people like to throw out to like try and feel smart more than to like use it accurately. Like the only time I've ever realistically felt I could metagame a Modern tournament was something like the Players Championship, where I knew the other 15 people showing up.
I will apologize about a Crediquade. I would suggest that if you're going to make a statement that can be somewhat construed as inflammatory, doing it in a chat one after another, get your whole logic printed out, give the block of text. I think that's a little bit better. Because you're right, you were making some valid points, but I only saw, I play 4 buglers, it's great in my meta.
I get to curve Bob into Modern staple Mardu Strike Leader.
Get out of here.
Again.
Yeah,
okay.
I would.
Yeah.
I haven't played the Black-Red Vengevine deck, and I don't think Jeff has touched it from the weekend.
No, I've not yet.
I did have a friend win a PPTQ this weekend with it, and told me, even though we were humans homies, that it's busto. So, it's interesting. And I know Collins Mullins is advocating for it, and he wasn't wrong about the humans shenanigans. But we'll see.
And Standard becomes easier to metagame. Like, you know, the Pro Tour this past weekend, Greg Orange is a good player for sure, but like part of the reason why he was successful is because he played a good control deck into a format that was 60% red and green aggro. I feel like Modern is very unique in what it does by and large, and like how the format is constructed and like how people need to approach it. And people often underestimate or like over compare it to things like Standard that they shouldn't be comparing it to. I mean, Black-Red Vengevine is like exactly the type of deck where when it works, it looks unbeatable, and you're like, why doesn't everybody play this in Modern? Mm-hmm. And when it doesn't work, you're like, that deck actually didn't do anything this match. I think I take Stirrings here, right? I think with this Aristocrat, yeah, because I can Thoughtseize this, then just
they kept a one-lander?
One-lander on the play, no cantrip, yep.
Alright, you do you.
So that means that when you pivoted from playing Pro Magic to playing Magic for fun, you were finally able to make it your job? Yeah, Korluski. The actual answer is that, like, when people talk about you can't make a living playing Magic, what they mean is you can't make a living playing tournament Magic. Like, All right, well that's pretty good. I mean, I'm far from the only person deriving my livable income from streaming Magic on Twitch, right? Like Caleb and Newmont both also do that.
So I think we take, like, do we Thoughtseize the
Worm Coil and then Kitesail this and then try and race, I guess. We needed to fade the Tron land for like 1 to 2 turns and we didn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Do we have any cards in our sideboard for this? We have Blood Moons. Okay.
Oh. Opponent did let us know he kept it unkeepable on accident. Quickly identified. Oops.
So take stone away, attack for 3. I mean, I don't think you have to strictly be playing something busted, Equinox. Like, the blue-red Wizards deck that I played isn't strictly busted. It's just, like, a deck that's doing something proactive. So, like, there's a difference between you need to be doing something busted and you're better off if you're doing something proactive. So we hit that, but they hit another Tron piece, so, like...
Do you get to...
I could take the Ugin, but then we just get Ulamogged and die.
Oh, they hit the tower? But what are they? They Ulamog 2, blah, blah, Aristocrat, blah, blah.
Maybe.
Yeah. We're...
I think Mardu Pyromancer is a better deck than Death Shadow.
Doomrex, if the anecdotal bit on Watch of Raiju has any evidence, Dylan Donegan, huge Shadow advocate, has switched to humans and then to Mardu Pyro. Won a PPTQ with Mardu Pyro like a week ago. So some of the people that I know that advocate for Shadow have shifted to Pyromancer.
All right, so we've got Blood Moon to bring in. We've got a Duress to bring in. You got Terminates and Fatal Pushes to board out. I've got an Abrade to bring in. I guess Necromancer's kind of okay. Thanks for giving me background noise while I beat my head against the wall with this code. Put it towards Loam. Sounds good. Loam is love. Loam is life.
Wouldn't have guessed he wanted it, or they wanted it towards
I think I want this. This is probably better than this Abrade. Stupid Dragon Whispers. Get out of my deck.
Yeah, IHJ's.
I guess Bolt's kind of medium.
I think that's a super relevant point. Mardu Pyromancer's just got a super sick sideboard. Like, top to bottom.
Why do you think so many people played Control at the Pro Tour as the second or third most played deck? People who think they're better than their opponents at playing Magic want to play Control decks. Control decks are feel smart decks. Players that are good at Magic or think that they're good at Magic. I'm not saying that everybody that plays the Pro Tour is good or bad. They're definitely a healthy mix of the two. You know, if you think you're better than your opponents, you want to play a deck that can generally allow the games to go long. Because if your opponent's playing badly, they're gonna have more opportunities to make bad decisions in a longer game of Magic. I am going to take Expedition Map because we're never beating them if they get Tron online. I'm going to concede if we miss our second land drop, but that's what it is. I think Mardu Pyromancer wasn't popular because I don't actually have a good answer to that. Maybe people were worried about there being too much Tron. I'm also told that Mardu doesn't have a very good KCI matchup, which if people were expecting that deck to be popular, which it was, and it probably wasn't an unreasonable expectation, I think that's a fine thing to shy away from.
I think it'd be safe to say a lot of teams probably like put time into other formats, and with Modern, we're like, what's the shiny? Like,
Yep.
you had humans and KCI is just like really good, powerful choices, and both different enough that one of your three very highly skilled players can play them to a high level. Like, I'm assuming you could find that.
Dragon Whisperer is very bad Polyvis. It just doesn't do anything. Like getting to 8 with 6 mana is just like such a specific. It's like the definition of a win more card, because you need 6 mana to activate it, and if you have 6 mana and 8 power in play, you're probably winning that game regardless. So like, why do I need this thing that's only good when I'm already winning the game?
That's totally fair, Polyvus. It's just been a point of discussion for a large portion of the stream, and it's cool, but what?
How do I beat Phyrexian Crusader as a blue-white-red player? Kill them faster.
Wrath it.
Wrath it is the answer.
Mana leak it? Mana leak that, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
No worries. The good decks see more play in team events because people are generally more risk averse when playing team tournaments because their results in that tournament impact more than just themselves. So if you want to take a risk while playing a deck in a team tournament, you're not just taking a risk for you, you're taking a risk for your team. Zombie Loam, huh?
Do we take Infestation here?
I think I just take the Loam. The rest of their hand doesn't do much without the engine. Why are there so many cards revealed? Oh, because in addition to this showing them twice, it shows start finish as individual cards. Oh, Moto. I think Dark Confidant is very, very not good. I think Modern's a format where there's more decks pressuring your health total than giving you a lot of time to just fart around. Tron killed us, as it's been known to do.
Yep. It's a really good point in credit, Wade. Yeah. Yeah, I think it's fair to say, like, Modern is definitely a format where folks are going to show up, with their deck that they've been playing for, a while.
I actually haven't played a ton of Arena, Marnie, but I have seen how the graveyard effects are displayed in Arena, and I actually really like it. It makes it clear, it makes the interface really clean.
There's less gotcha moments with it. Like, you know exactly when your opponent hasn't and stuff like that.
Yep.
I also don't have to touch their stupid graveyard 15 times.
Yep. I think it's a great addition.
Yep.
I need you to cite a source, Lord Drekken. Don't throw statistics out there that are contrary to what was posted without citing a source. This isn't the rest of the internet. You don't just get to like make stuff up here and then get away with it.
That's a fair take, Courtney. I think it's also reasonable. Like, a 2-drop that draws cards. Drawing cards is definitely a known good thing.
All right, maybe we can burn them out here. They did hit another Loam. Probably not a big deal. Do you think a good replacement for Noble Hierarch in JAC? You should click on my article on my website here. There's a link that includes budget lists, including no Noble Hierarch.
Yeah, Quaid, I've had some other friends who are bugling a bunch advocate for it, so.
Yeah, the economy stuff as part of Arena just feels really sad. It's just like, it feels like they got a lot of the details that they normally mess up correct with Arena, and then they've like really muddled the details with the whole economy thing. It's kind of funny. Part of the reason I really wanted to try the Warhammer card game was because their online for their digital distribution system is just like A+. You get to have the cards that you have in paper on the computer. Yep, sounds great. Sign me up. Super easy to understand. Can have a paper secondary market that then acts as an online secondary market. Just super clean and easy. Really wish Wizards would try something like that. Maybe. It depends on what they do. Mm-hmm. The Aristocrat's the type of card where just like the threat of activation is often more important than actually activating. I just play the decks that people send me money to play, Rez, and Affinity is not a deck that's particularly interesting or exciting, so people don't want to spend money to see it played.
Giggle Gnome, the Warhammer TCG has a different take on it, actually.
No, yeah, so the Warhammer TCG, you don't get a booster pack code with the pack that you buy. Each individual card has a unique code on it, so you get the exact same card that you have in paper on the computer. Thaddeus, it's actually made by, the Warhammer card game is being made by the same company that makes Lightseekers.
Thopter Gifts. Some of the Moto grinders do, but I don't think it's like a super common. I don't have any numbers on it to tell you what is common. But
Well, I mean, it's not even companies being smart, right? Just like the reason why Wizards of the Coast doesn't do stuff like that is because they want you to buy your cards twice, right? Like, or in this case, like with Magic Online, they want you to buy your cards 3 times.
Mm-hmm. It's important to note the difference between this and Pokemon is Pokemon gives you a random pack.
Yeah, Pokemon gives you a random pack code, and once you redeem that pack code, nobody else can have it. Whereas this, yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna bring back the Bloodsoaked Champion and then sack it.
I thought that's at sorcery speed though.
Nope. Whereas this, you can, if let's say I claim a card to my account, I can then unclaim it and give it to somebody else when I trade. This is a human for some reason, so God bless.
Aridon, that's definitely the idea. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, exactly, Aridon. It'll be very difficult to counterfeit cards.
They're asking about the Lightseekers.
When you release the for your claimed, yeah, you can release cards. So like when you scan the card, it tells you whether or not it's claimed by somebody. I think good decks are easier to play than bad decks, Billy Boy, because good decks are going to carry you through to some victories just based on the power level of what they're doing. Brick House, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome, welcome. How is the living in matchup with humans? Have you played it? Is it bad?
I feel like it just got to be awful. Like they get to instant speed Rathian in places. Now, of course, you can name Living End off of Meddling Mage, and things get, pretty nice. But I think the advantage that you have is if you can get a Meddling Mage down or snag their card.
I agree. I agree with Zed Mephisto. A lot of the times when Magic players talk about a deck being hard to play, what they actually mean is the deck is bad, but they like it, so they play it anyways. So like they scrape out some wins by the skin of their teeth with their hard to play deck, but in reality the deck just like is low power level because it isn't good. We lost him trading in combat, so if I would have sacrificed him earlier, he wouldn't have traded in combat with their zombie. I didn't say every deck, Professor M. It's weird that the words that I say have meanings. So like when I say most decks, what I mean is most decks. When I say some decks, what I mean is some decks. I didn't say every deck or all the time in that descriptor. Obviously, there are exceptions to every rule, but you didn't want to listen to the words that I actually said. You just wanted to say something inflammatory to tell me that I was wrong. So take a break.
A Mick pick. I am a big fan of humans right now. Very, very big fan of humans. If you look up like MTG top decks or whatever, top 8, I have a couple lists on there recently from some 70-plus person events that I won or top 8'd. One was pre and one was post Bugler. I also think the Hollow Vine deck, I'm going to look into that this week. Seeing if it's a good take for the weekend. But right now, humans is my go-to deck by far.
They're dead, right?
5.
Austin the Lamb, thank you very much for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that.
Yes, they are. 7, 8, 10. Yeah, unless they have the pull.
It's been a long time since I could legally deal damage in combat and sacrifice stuff, but somehow I still neglect it. Thoughts on Keyforge? Keyforge is the first time I've ever played a demo and then walked away from it going, man, the gameplay in this game is great. It's a shame I'm never going to play this game again because their distribution model is terrible.
Mr. Thaddeus, your question about light speakers.
Light Seekers.
Light Seekers, sorry. I haven't got to play it, but I played Warhammer last night. Is that the same? Is that
So
similar?
Warhammer is like a more in-depth Lightseeker, basically. Actually, one of my wife's coworkers has played in the Lightseeker regional or nationals, whatever they had, and he taught me to play for a few games. I just didn't find it particularly engaging.
So I would have to say that's my I haven't got to touch the game.
It uses a lot of the same mechanics that the Warhammer game does, but it think of it as if you were playing the Warhammer game with only one lane.
Okay. Yeah. Like I can see that being a good card game to have available as like, here's one to play. This is, people can enjoy it. But from the perspective of a Magic Pro, I wanted 4 lanes. I think even if Warhammer was 3 lanes, I would have been a little unimpressed.
Austin and the Lamp with the brand new tier 1 sub gift. Enjoy your emotes there, Flight of Whales. Thank you for the sub gift, Austin and the Lamp. Can you explain a little bit how the Warhammer card game plays? I would recommend you just go on their YouTube channel and look up the Learn to Play stuff. It's hard to explain. It's a unique game. It's not like one of the many magic lights that exist in the world, basically. You are still subbed, Grimwatch. Mm-hmm. All right. Is this just a Blood Moon matchup? Probably not. I guess they have a lot of non-basics. Maybe on the play. Maybe it says that on the play. That's because I wasn't talking about... Okay, so basically, when you play cards in the Warhammer game, there's different columns on the board, and your cards... Think of it if you've played Hearthstone where positioning matters. It's a game where there's cards that the spot you play them on the board impacts other parts on the board. So there's cards that have, like, area impact and stuff like that. Broken Pots, enjoy the sub-gift. Thank you for the second gift there, Austin and the Lamp. It's different from Yu-Gi-Oh! In that, and different from Magic and Hearthstone in that your units and your minions, or whatever you want to call them, that you play on the board, don't attack each other. Which is interesting to me as well. I've never actually played Gwent. Never actually played Gwent.
Another sub gifted.
Was there another one?
Whale hooked it up again, I believe.
Nope, yep, Broken Pots, we got them. I've not played Force of Will. I feel like Force of Will is not a card game that any reasonable adult would ever look at and decide that this is a game that they want to play.
Yeah, that was immediate. Nope.
Their IP is terrible and it's bad, and they should feel bad for pushing it. Their game could be the best card game that's ever been made, and I wouldn't touch it with a 20-foot pole because their IP is gross. Just not into that for me. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Just can't do it. Basically borderline anime hentai. Just like very, very giant anime.
Intellectual property.
IP is intellectual property.
That's a great question, and remember IP. Remember that.
Remember IP. Intellectual property is something that refers to like the Warhammer card game. The Warhammer is the IP. No, it's not anime. It's explicitly very
booby.
It's booby anime. It's borderline hentai.
No.
Yes, it is. It's borderline hentai. It's not actual nudity, but it goes right up to the line.
Yeah.
It goes right up to the line and tries not to tiptoe. It's lewd.
You know, you're not allowed to have the ridiculous playmats at Magic events. Because that is what they put on all their cards.
You wouldn't be allowed to use a lot of these cards as token in Magic events.
Correct.
Because of the artwork on them.
Yeah. And that, yes, Austin, that is the biggest catch with the whole thing, is then if you actually know what age most of these characters are, you're just like, wow, from gross to literal vomit-inducing, what is this?
Yep.
Yeah, don't read into, if you watch anime, like a good amount of it, I wouldn't get too deep into checking ages if you're, well, maybe you should because it's terrible, but
yep.
Like, come on.
Yeah. Yeah, Hex had some bad artwork in that same direction, but Marty, have you looked at a Force of Will card? Nothing that Hex did was close to what they did, I don't think.
I saw a good question pop up there. Green-black, what are your cards that you like against blue-white control?
Fulminator Mage is really good because not only does it allow you to cut Fatal Push, but it also still gives you answers to like Colonnade and stuff like that.
Sure.
And then Planeswalkers are great, obviously. So they ditch Lingering Souls. They have a Loam in their hand. I think I just Kitesail their Loam at this point. Tracker's absurd. No, I went to Gen Con this last weekend. Christy and I have gone to Gen Con the last few years.
If you don't see the difference between the 1 or 2 printings in Magic and an entire game's IP, come on. Ponder, Earthcraft, get out of here.
All right, well, they don't have a lot going on here. We get to take their Loam away. They do have a Faithless Looting in the bin and Lingering Souls, but Kitesail Freebooter does a good job checking Lingering Souls. We don't have a good answer to this Bloodghast, though, and like our Dark Confidants are a little bit medium while it's pressuring us. When is the card game released? The card game released this past weekend at Gen Con. Their digital version is supposed to be released at the end of the month, I think.
Correct, JoJo. That's a pretty broad stroke to paint.
Yeah. I mean, you hear people talk about basically every card game that there's... If you go based on the feedback of random people on the internet, I don't think any card game has ever been designed that's well balanced because everybody just likes to cry about everything. How much money am I getting for shilling the new game? Actual 0. Actual 0. You know it's actually against the law in the United States to take advertising money for things and not post that it's sponsored. That's why you see a bunch of people when they're streaming Arena have hashtag sponsored or hashtag ad in their stream title. It's against the Twitch terms of service as well. Now, hopefully when their digital releases, they'll give me some stuff if I stream it. That would be nice. I like free shit. I like to play games and not pay to play them.
Untrue. Absolutely untrue. I think we should just get off this topic because it's just a really broad, ridiculous point. Get out of here.
Casual, free-to-play noob.
Broken Pots is not wrong.
You're not wrong, Broken Pots. It's a children's card game. I like children's card games. They're fun. Oh, they hit Vengeful Pharaoh too. We are not winning this game.
The reason that's a 10-minute, it has a mature warning when you pull it up on Hulu.
That's just someone trolling. Just trying to spread bad stuff.
Anything else? Let's get back to how awesome Magic can be. We're up again.
Maybe I can steal with this Falkenrath Aristocrat here. That's not even going to happen because they have Haunted Dead and Lingering Souls here. Yeah, I have no idea what they mean by alter reality 3 frags. I just assumed that was some fancy way to refer to the integration between digital and paper. So Nexus of Fate.
Mick I think it's fair to say that the blue-black shadow deck is a interesting take on some powerful cards that folks haven't done before, like Reanimate in your shadow deck. Love to see more of that.
Yeah, I guess Plague Mare's okay.
We haven't actually brought it in yet. We keep wanting to.
Get my Dragon Whisperers in here. So the opponent's not playing a traditional dredge deck. We've actually played the opponent's deck a few times. Actually, I'm going to write a deck list to do. The opponent is playing Zombie Loam, which is actually a deck we've played on stream a few times before, and I'm going to make a note to put that one on my website.
Yeah, Mick Pick, I'm currently in the job hunt. Once we kind of figure that out and I get more to like a regular, schedule, the idea was to pick up some more streaming just once or twice a week, and then when Artifact comes out, I'm pretty interested in playing there. But anytime when I decide to stream down the road, it'll be around the Hooglandia schedule. All you folks will be aware of it. So
7 of the top 8 decks in this weekend standard PTQ were red aggro. God bless us, everyone.
all right, I gotta drink this thing.
They've got Squee, Goblin Nabob, and Faithless Lily. That's just good deck building right there. Good, clean deck building.
Bubble Toes, that is a fair wish. Some people just want a Hypnotic Spectre.
Mick Pick, thank you very much for the brand new Twitch Prime support. I appreciate that. I stream because I love doing it, but the support of you all is the reason I'm able to be here as often as I do, so thank you for that.
Yeah, Zach, I definitely would. I have just been super lazy to do the MBH background check, like just strictly out of a disdain for having filled out clearances in the military. I just don't want to do the paperwork. But I definitely need to get over that and just fill it out, because I think I even have a saved one, whatever the SF form is. So I have like 90% of it done. You dude, that is the awesome you dude, Paging Marty Punker, Aetherflux Reservoir deck.
Do you think any of the Magic podcasts are good quality? I've heard good things about Jerry Thompson's GAM podcast, but I definitely have not listened to it. I don't really listen to any podcasts myself.
I listen to it a good amount on commutes and stuff. I think they give honest, individualized takes, but the one thing you have to understand, I watched somebody comment yesterday, you were rude about commenting on a deck. Nobody cares. Like, that's just not, like, they're there to make content, to give their takes on things. Anyway, it's a good podcast. Both Brian and Jerry do really good work. And if you're a competitive leaning player, it absolutely checks that box.
I'm gonna cast Modern Staple Mardu Strike Leader here real quick. Just get him right on out into play. It's weird. Moto always lags when we put Mardu Strike Leader on the stack. I wonder if it's bugged. There's always this pause. But my opponent's clock is still going down, so it can't be Moto freezing.
Our opponent is just reading this and wondering what's going on. That's a lot of text. It must be useful.
I don't know how we ever beat this Dark Blast.
Limited Resources is a very, very, very good podcast.
They dredge the Dark Blast. I wonder if they're going to double blast the Strike Leader next turn, potentially.
Sure, all clearances are pretty easy to get, but they still require a bunch of paperwork, and I had to report where I lived for the past 15 years to get a TSSCI, so what?
There's a deck list on your screen. If you're on mobile, you can type !deck in chat to get a link to the deck list. I think we're just dead here at this point. I'm just like never beating Dark Blast plus Zombie Infestation. Alright, so we finished 2 and 3. This deck has some like okay disruption in it. It also just has some like really awkward bad cards. Like Dragon Whisper leaves a lot to be desired. It's basically 2 months. Thank you for the 2-month subscription over 9,000. I appreciate that. This is basically like a hard to cast Grizzly Bear. Harsh Mentor was an easier to cast Grizzly Bear in our games, but it was mostly just a Grizzly Bear.
It was the best against the worst deck in existence.
Merfolk. We did beat Merfolk. we were better than Merfolk.
I meant Harsh Mentor specifically.
I think if you wanted to keep this core of cards, I think your overall power level is going to be a little bit weak, but you can definitely win games with the disruption and efficient removal that I had. I think if I wanted to stick to this core, the big thing I would change would be to cut this card. I would probably go up a second Grim Lavamancer into the main, and maybe another threat at some point. I don't know. I'd look long and hard at all like the red, black 1 and 2 drops. There's got to be something better than this, I feel like.
I think the games that we saw this deck win, it just executed the pretty good mix of play some threats, remove their threats, attack a couple turns.
Yep.
Like it played like a mid-range deck has always played.
You know, honestly, I wonder if maybe the deck should play Smuggler's Copter and Painseer.
That's somebody had mentioned. Smuggler's Copter sounds like the exact answer to solve the right half problem.
Yeah, the right half problem, the flooding issue a little bit. It's another evasive threat to pair with this. And then this deck wants more ways to generate card advantage. So like Dark Confidant, copies 5, 6, and 7 along with Paintseer could be very reasonable.
You mean that Xathrid Necromancer right there?
I definitely think I'd probably want like another Abrade or 2 in the sideboard. I think this card's very good in Modern. Honestly, I think it's better than Shatterstorm. I think this card's very narrow, and while it's really good when it works, I think I just want the more flexible card.
I would think it's safe to say you don't really need Shatterstorm for affinity with this style of deck. Like, you're not that much of a dog that you need the windmill.